What he does. No way! Wow! It's crazy. He'll blow your mind while having a great time. Hey, Joshy K. Hey, Joshy K. Hey, Joshy K. Number one choice for a fun birthday. For your company bash, he can't be surpassed. He's the perfect wedding gift. And bar mitzvah
Let's work on this later.
Yeah, sign them
too.
Wait, let's listen to this. This is great. Look
The
at this.
illusions are cool. He's the life of any party and a Rubik's Cube smarty. He'll read your mind, but he's never unkind. Hey, Joshy K. Hey, Joshy K. The best magician, so they say. Hey, Joshy K.
They're good. I like that.
There we
Fantastic.
go.
That's
Little
fantastic.
jingle there.
That was a great
I like
jingle.
that.
So in case you were, no, this is not. This is still the Steve Square Show. Don't panic and change the channel or the dial. Hopefully you've taken your pot pies out of the microwave and you're sitting comfortably enjoying the Steve Square Show. I got
Pot pies.
and there's 4 of it. Yeah, you're a pot pie guy, right?
I know you are. You like pot pies.
I'm not.
You're no guy.
I'm no guy. I'm a Celsius guy.
You're Celsius and maybe a vegetable here or there. That's
Sure.
about it. Yeah.
Steve's making fun of me. So if you were confused a little bit, we do have a guest in the studio tonight, and that is the astounding, the amazing Joshy K. Welcome to the Steve Square Show.
Josh K.
Hey, happy to be here. Thank you for having me,
Fantastic.
both of you.
Yeah, a little applause. Oh, Tony, do you have an applause? Tony's busy. Oh, my God.
He's
Tony.
running the show.
Give the applause, Tony!
Tony, I need applause.
Now! Shout!
Thank you. That's thank you. I mean,
Very good, very
You're used to that. That's your
Fix that. We'll fix that in
There's
post.
a bit I do in my show. I get like a little standing ovation. I get people applauding. It's so much fun.
Do you
And
feed off the energy of the crowd?
I do. I think all performers agree with this. Whatever energy the audience gives you, the performer is going to double that and bring it back.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
No, that's
definitely.
fantastic. Now I'll tell you, I was talking to you about this previously. Why I asked Joshy K. Josh, do you like to be called Joshy K? Josh?
It's funny. This is
Joshua?
a
What would
big
you like to-
topic.
Yeah, what
Either
do you
way is
prefer?
fine. I created a company. My stage name is Joshy K, especially when I perform for kids. When I go corporate or I'm down to earth, I go as Josh Kerr's band. That's my real name. And but my company online is Joshy K Magic.
So what should we call it? Joshy, Josh?
Whatever
Just
you
joshing
whatever
around.
floats your
We're
boats.
just joshing.
Yeah.
And now it's funny because what I go by here for the Steve Square Show is Funny Man Stevie K.
Hey.
So I need those girls. Can they sing for me? Hey, Stevie K. funny man, Stevie K. But that's really where it ends. See, because he does Rubik's Cube. He's an illusionist. All of this.
Well,
just
you do.
right after-
You have some talent. Come on.
All right, I'll do it right now. No, I'm just kidding. There is Joe. So what I saw this piece on Newsday, and that's where, we have different guests on the show, like I was telling you, different creators and entertainers and musicians or what have you. And I said, magic. We've never had a magician. So this is exciting. This is
I'm
fantastic.
happy to be here first.
This is
I'm honored.
great. Steve, you excited? You don't look
I am.
too-
I
you-
love,
Steve, have some more of that Wendy's beverage to get you pumped.
Now we're gonna hold back on that.
Good move.
Yes.
To be fair, Wendy's is like one of the only fast foods I do.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty
Try to
good.
eat that as healthy as possible. Like I said, I mentioned shrimpies. Love that.
Yes, Shrimpies is good. Let's just throw commercials out. all over them.
Because it's funny. You
Oh,
said-
only the ones we're being sponsored by.
Of course.
we have a lot of proud non-sponsors of the show. We don't really have many sponsors, but a lot of proud non-sponsors. Speaking of which, is Celsius energy drink. We'll start right off with one. Now, it's funny you say health and fitness because we are. I'm currently a trainer. Steve used to be a trainer, and that's why I always wear the shirt Dumbbells. It's a show I created called Dumbbells. So it's a sitcom-y, funny show that's set in a gym.
Nice.
So, but are you into fitness? You like to eat healthy? Or?
I eat healthy, but as you can see, I'm a twig. I just have a really fast metabolism.
Okay.
I don't really go to the gym. It seemed to have the opposite effect that I wanted.
Okay.
And now I just kind of walk everywhere. Sometimes if I'm feeling inspired, I'll start with like stretches, push-ups, sit-ups, like very basic cardio stuff.
Okay.
But no, if like you put me in a gym, like I actually injured myself a couple times at a gym.
Oh,
so,
no.
Oh yeah.
yeah. And it's actually
It's not a
funny.
safe place to gym.
It's funny we're doing a show on April 1st because I have a bad history with that day. I actually got sent to the emergency room on April Fool's Day.
Oh my no.
Yeah.
Wow. From a gym incident or just
No, not from a gym. from
an
a
April
magic
Fool's
show.
from a magic show?
Yes, someone hired me for it. Not an April Fool's Day magic show. It was just a birthday magic show. It was from people who didn't really celebrate April Fool's. They're like, this is just when her birthday is. So we're doing a kid show. I make all the balloon animals, and then I'm testing out a new routine. And I slip. I'm doing a cut and restored rope, and instead of cutting the rope, I cut my thumb. And then all of a sudden I see a red line, and then I'm like, I don't want to get it on the rope. I don't want the kids to see it, so I hide my hand behind my back. I strike a pose with the rope, and they're like, why is your hand behind your back? And then I look, and
Why
I
is
don't
your
want to
thumb on the
show them.
floor? Is that a magic trick? Put your thumb back on.
But honestly, I looked back at my thumb. It was gushing blood. It was dripping, and I didn't want anyone to see it. So I go over to the client, and I say, hey there, can you give me a Band-Aid? And I look, and it's gushing even more. Or a paper towel. Like, is everything okay? And I say,
911?
I accidentally cut myself. And I'm very calm. I'm very professional about it. And they said, can I just see that? And everyone is like, what's going on with the magician? What's happening? And they say, like, oh, that looks bad.
Do you have
Should
a scar? Do you still have a...
No, like look at my thumbs. You can't see anything.
That's fantastic.
No,
Now,
very
as a
good,
magician, does it help to have, something you're born with, like certain type of flexibility in the wrists and hands, or do you build up a dexterity, or because you're using a lot of, sleight of hands and things like that? Is it helpful to have? Do you do exercises or the hard tricks?
There's
or-
only 1 or 2 times I've done exercises because I specialize with the Rubik's Cube. I used to play musical instruments, so like my fingers are always busy.
Okay.
So kind of like Shin Lim, he was either going to be a musician or a magician.
Right.
And they sound very similar. They go hand in hand. But he got an injury and then struggled to do the piano and is like, let me give the magic a shot. And then he was incredible. Went on AGT, went on Fool Us, and I got to see him live in Vegas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Now, I was going to ask you about some of your influences. Now, you started magic at, how old were you?
I was 5 years old.
Wow. Why? What made you?
So I was at a friend's birthday party. There was a magician there, and the magic bug bit me. I was hooked.
Right.
And I loved magic. My parents bought me the magic kits. I watched the magic TV specials, watching David Copperfield. This was before David Blaine. There were Masters of Illusion, a whole bunch of other cool things, and I just couldn't get enough magic. Eventually, my parents took me to the magic shop. I went to magic camp, got a magic mentor, became part of a magic club,
Wow.
a few on Long Island, and then now I'm teaching magic summer camps.
I saw that. Now,
That's
you
fantastic.
teach-
That's so cool.
Are you finding a lot of kids are into magic now? Or?
Yes, I mean, like Harry Potter got everyone
Is
into
that-
it,
yeah.
and like they want to
course.
unlock their inner wizard, and have to
they're-
like put a
of
little
course.
disclaimer, like we're not
Yeah.
like floating ourselves and casting spells.
Turning
Where
spell- yeah.
like we're teaching you the sleight of hand to make people think you have magic powers,
Right.
which is the job of a magician.
Right. Now,
And
that's-
with Penn and Teller Fool Us,
Yeah.
that's really inspired a lot of people to they put magicians in a good light.
Yeah,
They do.
Now, have you met Penn and Teller? I was reading that. Was that like a camp that you were with them or something? What is-
So it's funny. The camp I went to is Tannen's Magic Camp, and I spent 8 wonderful summers there. And it's all volunteer magicians who are the staff there, and they're all professional working magicians.
Right.
Sometimes we get guests like Penn and Teller or David Blaine or David Copperfield
Wow.
or Chris Angel. So I've met a bunch of them. And my last trip to Vegas, I've been actually hired by a few companies to fly across the country. And I had a friend in Vegas. I'm like, hey, I got a call about a gig here. I want to come see you. I want to come see shows. Can I come for a visit? He's like, yes, we have a guest room. Come on over.
Wow. Have you ever performed in Vegas?
Now I can say I have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
So cross that off the bucket
That
list.
is pretty cool.
Just got to get on Penn and Teller Fool Us. But I did get
Can you get on that? How do you get on that?
Yes, I've been emailing them every couple years or so, but they haven't chosen me.
Do you have to send them a reel, or is it just how's the process work to try to apply?
And that's the thing. I don't know the full process. I send them a clip of here's a routine I would like to do,
Right.
and then I don't hear back. So now I'm part of a magic club, and I'm asking them hey, what worked for you?
Oh, I see.
And so now I'm kind of working through the process again and being let's revisit this. Let's see if we can make it happen.
That would be
But I did have an onstage interaction with Penn. Because obviously Teller doesn't talk.
I
But,
thought he started speaking, or he still hasn't spoken.
So when he's on stage in the Penn and Teller mode,
Right.
he doesn't talk.
Never, still hasn't.
But he'll do the opening announcements. If he
Right.
does TV promo stuff, he does that. If he does lectures, he does that. Behind the scenes stuff, he does talk for that. But
he's written too. He wrote some stuff for the Times, like op-ed pages. I was like, wow, this is Teller. He's very good. Not that I'm sure he wouldn't be, but it's so funny to read something from Teller that you've never heard his voice ever. So.
Now, you spoke of David Copperfield. He was in a little lawsuit incident, right? And he had to, in court, actually reveal what had happened because it was supposed to be this disappearing.
That's right.
Guess
and I saw that on tour before he got his Vegas show because he came to Long Island at the Tillis Center. I probably was in high school at the time.
Wow. And did the trick he saw?
I know the trick. I saw it firsthand.
Wow.
And I was like, ooh, that's kind of cool. And then talking with other magicians, you find out like how it's done. It's like, oh, didn't even think of that.
Right,
that's
right.
good. So
now, are magicians cool about sharing secrets, or is it competitive? Did you ever have somebody take something that was yours? And
that's even a question within the magic community. Sometimes you kind of have to prove your worth. There is kind of like a seniority and like an initiation kind of thing, not like hazing or anything, but just kind of like you got to prove your worth. Say like, hey, like you talk all the magic terms, you talk about other secrets, you perform for them, and then you get them to light up and have respect for you.
Gotcha.
Then you have opened the door and say, hey, I want to learn this thing. Hey, I saw you do this. Could you show me that?
Right.
And as long as there's the respect there and you can feel like you're an equal, then that door is open. Now, every magician has the right to say, no, I'm going to keep the secrets. That's mine. I invented it.
Right.
Or this is a friend of mine. He didn't give me permission to say it. So there's a weird thing about ethics in magic. Right. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not, and it determines within the magic community if you're a good guy or a bad guy.
Gotcha.
So at Tannen's Magic Camp, as I mentioned, a lot of magicians don't want to go there because they're scared the magicians that are campers are going to see that and then imitate them or reveal their secrets.
Of course.
So there's a sign of trust there, and there's like a big, like we talk to the campers like adults.
Yeah.
And like, hey, here's what you got to understand.
Right.
This is an honor. This is a privilege. It's not a right.
Right.
So if you are rude about it, if you are like going behind their back, then we can't have them back. And they're very good person.
Pretty good,
coming here.
About that. Yeah, I was thinking about that because there's so many different, magicians now. I saw your build as you not only magician, illusionist.
Yeah, sorry. And mentalist.
Which I believe you are. No, I'm just kidding.
That,
Steve's a bit of a mentalist.
Stop. Oh no.
Depends which day of the week. When he has to get up very early, Steve's a mentalist.
Stop knocking
And you do telekinesis and things like that,
yes,
too?
twin telepathy, metal bending, voodoo, pickpocketing.
Voodoo. Now we're talking. Now we got, Tony, wake up. We're doing some voodoo. Is that allowed in the Governors Comedy Club?
I'm a little scared.
Now, what's the differences between an illusionist, a magician, all of these?
Well, it's funny. With illusionist, it used to be one thing. Now it's something else.
Okay.
Illusionist used to be what David Copperfield and Masters of Illusions are, which is the big grand stage illusions, the big boxes that morph someone's body.
Right.
Maybe they're cut in half. Maybe they float in the air. Maybe something goes straight through
Cut
their
in
body.
half. Is that? I know you're going to do some tricks for us. Is that anything we could do with Steve? He would be open to doing that if you have a saw.
You usually lose the weight,
We just wheel it right in, no?
I could get into something. I won't be cutting you in half. Don't worry, Steve. You can relax. I'm going to treat you right.
Thanks,
but we're going to have some fun.
Thank you so much.
But so that's an illusionist. Is more of the Copperfield world.
Yes, though these days, the strolling close-up magic people have referred to as illusionists.
Okay.
So if I'm getting a request online, people are looking for an illusionist. They really want a strolling close-up magician.
Okay.
And it's the colloquialism. Like the word gay used to mean happy, now it's homosexual.
Right.
So just the way society works, they've kind of changed the definition of a pre-existing word.
Okay. So that would be for an illusionist. So now, what would be an example of, so like the David Blaine, what would he be an example? Is he also an illusionist, or is he more?
Well, an illusionist in the modern sense of the term, doing
okay.
the street magic, the strong
Right.
close-up magic. He actually invented the genre of street magic, where you go up to a stranger and say, hey, we've never met, but I'm a magician, I'm going to blow your mind.
Okay.
And you go right into it.
Oh, wow. So that's like they call that like a street magician type of thing.
That's
You're
right.
just
All
going
the
up
magic
cold.
websites started making a new tab, street magic tricks,
okay.
like the bite out coin or anything with cards, anything you could just walk up to a stranger and be like, hi, and then go right for it. You borrow someone's keys, you borrow someone's phone, and you do something like that.
So what is the world of, who would be an example of somebody that does voodoo? Where did voodoo come in?
Voodoo.
Where did your interest in voodoo come from?
I mean, I spent some time in New Orleans. That's one place I love going
Sure,
to.
a lot of that there.
I thought he was gonna. I know Massapequa Park is a haven of voodoo,
Oh,
but
tremendous.
especially over by the bagel place on Front Street.
I mean, you go to that devil house, the devil-faced house.
Which one's
Oh,
that?
in North Massapequa.
North
Massapequa,
yes.
yes.
Oh,
The
it's-
red one.
Have you ever seen it?
Yes, I know. That's
Oh,
right.
they have like the rules, like you can't park there. You have to drive
Oh
by
my
slowly or
God.
park around the block and
Yeah.
walk over.
Oh, it's just
Wow.
But anytime I gave someone a tour of my area, like they were coming from overseas, because I always hit it off with the Brits.
Right.
I would always take them there, and also to Dairy Barn back.
Oh, sure, the Dairy Barn.
because like they don't have like drive-through little.
That's what I
convenience
had
stores.
told when I told Josh coming here. I said we're kind of connected to it. It's like a dairy.
you know,
barn.
if we made, you know, if I won like Powerball right now, I think I'd open up that Dairy Barn because they're all closed now, right, Tony? You know, I used to get the tea.
You know what
there.
else is closed? Is they're closing Sam Ash's. Closing.
Oh,
Just
I
like a
heard.
bunch of them, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, my friend like bought
The
an
main-
accordion from them just
Oh,
last
really?
minute. Yeah.
The main one in the flagship in Manhattan's closing
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
too.
And that's where I got one of my magic speakers
Oh,
from.
wow.
Do you
Yeah.
play instruments? You said you play some
I
instruments too?
used to play trumpet and piano, and I taught myself ukulele, and I actually worked the ukulele into a magic
I was going to
routine.
say that would be like a ukulele would be perfect, or an accordion. Did you ever play around with that?
I never did. I love Weird Al,
Yeah.
who's like famous
Yeah,
for the
sure.
accordion. One of my good friends, Nicole D'Angelo, she plays accordion, and we hung out at a Sam Ash years ago, and she was just playing it. She could play every instrument under the sun.
Oh,
Very
I'm
talented.
so jealous of people like that.
You could play an instrument, you know that.
I do some percussion. I taught myself harmonica. I'm very.
Nice.
I like that. It's easy to carry around than a drum set.
True.
You know, I found. I can't
You were
play
in
the drum set
orchestra.
anymore.
You were in
Yeah,
band.
Different, and you're in chorus. and
I
you-
was.
yeah,
You're
well,
right. So you had that.
Tony, any instruments?
No.
Tony's the strong silent type. He's
You-
not the best in the business for nothing.
You come from the singing Walker family. I mean, they mean
Yeah, he's the musician,
Oh, your brother.
and I'm just the punk brother. Yeah.
And you. So how did you get on Rachel Ray?
That
just
was because
jumping into the things
So
from
yeah,
out of the
yeah.
blue.
I was in high school at the time. I was at a summer camp, and my mom was kind of like acting as my magic agent, and she was like seeing all these listings. I was also into theater, and she saw like they were looking on one of those sites that actors check, and she saw a posting like, "Hey, America's Got Talent just started. We want to do something on our talk show. Our audience has talent. Like anyone who
that's
submits a super cool talent, we'll consider them." And so she called up the camp and said, "Hey, Josh, you need to record a video of you doing something cool. Do the Rubik's Cube, do magic, do juggling, do whatever." And we did, and I like got everyone's attention, and we like used the studio, we used the theater, and we like recorded it. So I was singing, dancing, juggling Rubik's cubes and solving them, and then doing magic. And they said we had 100 magicians submit. We're tired of the magic, but the Rubik's cube, we want that.
That got you on.
That's what got me on.
Can you juggle? You're a juggler too.
Very minorly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Enough to prove, hey, I can juggle. But not to hire me as like, hey, I'm your juggler for the next hour. No, for the next 30 seconds.
Okay.
Until they drop.
That's now.
Sometimes
Speaking,
that's all you need there.
speaking
That's
of
good.
jugglers, I was always very interested in. Talk to me a little bit about Siegfried and Roy. What's going on with? Now I know they passed away.
Yeah.
Now, do you work with large cats?
I do not. I am allergic to like every animal under the sun. So I'm sorry I couldn't
What
work
about, we
animals
should
with
discuss
you.
these questions beforehand.
You know what, Steve?
You kidding me?
What is the wrong with that? I'm asking.
I'm
if
not
he works
gonna
with
be the
large
next
large
Tiger King.
cats.
There are no large cats in Seaford. Now calm down now.
Well, maybe a small raccoon. Something like that.
This is Joshy K and the Trash Panda.
I'm strolling the streets of Massapequa for rabid raccoons.
Well, they're out there.
They are. I see
Rabbit is
them-
the selling thing. It's the rabbit in the hat. So rabbit raccoon, it works.
Now, how did that? That's always such a thing with magic.
cliche,
the
like,
cliche,
how did
the
it-
hat, the rabbit in the hat. How did that start? Where did that come from? Is
yes,
that still a thing?
So yeah, Robert Houdin, the modern grandfather of magic, he put out a poster, invented, pulling a rabbit out of a top hat because everyone went to the theater wearing a top hat, just like you're wearing that hat.
Yes.
That was they had top hats back
Right.
then, and the magician would match the audience in his attire. But because that poster became so famous and that trick like shook the world even more so than sawing someone in half or making someone float, it was a borrowed hat, showed it empty, spun it around, reached inside, and a live rabbit appeared. And that's what ended the show, and that's the last image people saw. That was on the poster, and that became the thing. So now people love that, and they're like, oh, does this magician work with rabbits? So then magicians started working with rabbits.
That's
and
funny.
it was just one trick after another, but less about the top hat, more just about the bunny. Maybe it appeared from a cage or a box or some scarves or a tube.
Taking it to a different level or something like that.
That's right.
Now, Long Island is a haven now. Are you seeing rabbits everywhere? I
Yes.
see bunnies everywhere.
Ever since COVID, that's when all of a sudden
Well,
there's been an explosion of rabbits. There's more of them than I've ever seen ever.
Well, that was a product of the pandemic.
yeah, I was
Bunny
just thinking
rabbit,
that.
right?
Multiplying.
I
Multiplying.
believe so. There you go.
Having fun.
That's because I was thinking. Now, I actually one of my favorite movies involves magic. I don't know if you've ever seen the Incredible Burt Wonderstone.
Oh, yeah.
So fun with Jim Carrey with the hair.
was great,
They always,
yeah.
they always like the signature guy, the cool guys get the ponytail,
Yeah.
and Jim Carrey plays him, and he's like taking magic to the silly level where he has a thing where he holds his urine for as long as possible, or he goes to sleep on hot coals, things like that.
No, it was a great spoof of David Blaine and Chris Angel.
That's kind of what it was.
Yeah.
Of a spoof on, right? Because of Chris Angel.
The
I guess it was
Wonderstone.
more Jim Carrey, right?
Oh, yeah, and I'm a big fan of Jim Carrey.
And Jim Carrey.
I'm like, if there was ever a celebrity that would portray me in a movie, it would be Jim Carrey.
There you go.
Now, I that's if you need somebody to write your bio, I'm your man. I just finished one on Jack LaLanne, but I'm looking for the next one, and you're already as young as you are. You already have an arm's length of resume. It's unbelievable. I was looking at your website. I was like, it's incredible.
Thank you. I've been doing pretty well for myself.
That's fantastic. That you're doing your dream. I mean, how great is that?
Yeah,
what does a workday look like for you? Is that like you just get up and start?
I mean,
like,
now we're
sorting
getting
people in
into
half?
describe your job badly.
I mean, I know
Monday
it's-
through Friday, 9 to 5, I'm sitting on my couch in my apartment in Brooklyn, and I'm just refreshing my email, watching TV, maybe updating my website, watching the newest magic clips, and also just like getting tickets to theaters.
Right.
And just answering emails, copy and pasting, doing phone calls, and I'm just wondering, I'm waiting for my roommates to be like, what's up with you, Josh? Like, just on the couch all day, then the phone rings, I run into my room, close the door, and I'm on speakerphone, and you hear me pacing back and forth, back and forth. That's how I am on a phone call.
A lot of energy. Well, you seem like you have a lot of energy.
do.
You're really good. I was watching some clips, but because part of obviously being a showman is the not only being able to do the tricks, but the personality and the energy.
Yeah.
And you obviously exhume that really well. And when I heard some kids that were on America's Got Talent, they did the kids magician one, and some of those kids are fantastic.
Oh, they're phenomenal. They're
Unbelievable.
great.
And a lot of them say, they got into magic because of shyness or autism or things like that. And it had, got them out a little bit out of their shell. And
There have been so many clients who said, my child is the shyest. They also say, hey, we have kids on the spectrum, special needs. And I say, don't worry, I've worked with those kids before. I remember in my high school, I was still in high school, and they have a CDP program called Career Development Program. And it was people on the spectrum, special needs of all disabilities. And they asked me to do a magic show for them, and they were the best audience.
Yeah.
And so many clients said, you brought my child out of their shell. They are the shyest child, but around you, somehow they felt comfortable, and you made them like into a star.
wow, that's fantastic. That's a
special.
great feeling. I mean, as
It's
an
the best
entertainer, as a
compliment.
performer, I mean, do you like doing adult shows, or you do both, adult and
I do,
children's
yes.
shows? Which is a better audience?
I actually love the adults because I get to turn the adults into kids.
Okay.
They get to feel like a child again, feel that child sense of wonder.
It's interesting because kids always have I feel like a little larger sense of imagination or wonderment, where adults are a little more cynical, sarcasm. Oh, I know where you did, or something. They're always looking for, where kids are not really looking to expose the secret, right? They really just enjoying
They just
it.
know, like from years of experience, there's got to be an explanation.
Right.
But then you see them like their brains are they're staring at your hands and be like,
They can't.
I don't know it. I got nothing.
I'm always blown away by. I mean, I don't know if you have something or if you want to do something, please feel free. If you have something
Absolutely,
that
yes.
you don't mind doing.
Let me show you one of my favorite things, the Rubik's Cube, as
I
we
was
discussed.
hoping,
discussed.
you know, I was
Rubik's
hoping. I didn't want to
Cube.
ask you, but I was like, Tony, you got to watch this.
Yeah.
Oh, Tony, watch the show for a second. All right, get off your phone.
Well, they say you got to be a genius to solve it. I say you just got to peel off the stickers the right way. No, that's the cheater method.
That's how the kids did when it first
but
came
as a
out.
magician, I'm a professional cheater. But the way I cheat, it's not the fancy twists and turns, and it's not peeling off the stickers. The way I cheat is going from messed up to solved with just a little magic.
Whoa.
Nice.
That's fantastic. Look at that.
That's insane. That's crazy.
I know, solved all the way around. Happens fast, you blink, you miss it. You know what? I want to get you guys involved, mixing it up. Starting with you. Give it a bunch of twists, bunch of turns. All right, that's enough. No.
That's kind of the way you described how I drove here. A couple of twists, couple of turns. Southern State.
There we go.
off.
That's good. We'll pass it over to the
There
other
you go.
Steve.
Okay.
There you go. Give
And
it a
keep
bunch
the
of
same
twists, bunch
things,
of
couple of
turns.
turns,
Make it as messed up. Don't worry, you don't have to solve
right.
it.
All right. Good.
There's actually someone who emailed me like, hey, my kid knows how to solve it, and we're like having a Rubik's Cube themed party. Can either of you solve it or no?
No.
No, there's
Well, I
absolutely
can't. I don't
no
know
way
if
in the
Steve
world.
can.
No.
Yes.
That's okay. But Steve, let's have some fun over here.
Okay,
You
boy.
can't solve it, but we can work with that.
Okay.
Steve, I want you to hold out your hand right here. We'll put the cube on your hand. Take
Okay.
your other hand, put it on top of the mixed up cube, and wrap your fingers around it. And imagine you can solve the Rubik's Cube. Can you imagine that?
I can solve the Rubik's Cube. I can solve the Rubik's Cube.
Imagine the
You're-
colors.
you were born to be a magician, Steve.
I can solve the Rubik's Cube.
Now imagine the colors of the cube floating in the air like a rainbow. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Good. Imagine I take my right hand, I grab a color. Shoo, name a color.
Blue.
Blue. That was your choice. I didn't tell you to choose blue. You chose blue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Imagine blue, the color you chose. Blue, your color facing up towards the ceiling, the cube solved in your hand. If this works, everyone's going to freak out. It'll be amazing. On the count of three, Steve, lift your hand. Ready? 1, 2, 3, lift! That would have been so good.
I was like, that can't be.
Wait, flatten your hand. What was the color you chose?
Blue.
Watch. Turn over that cube.
Wow.
The one color
Yes,
solved, the one color you
Excellent.
named.
I
That's
got one
pretty
side.
good.
Let's just like.
Oh, we got the applause
Oh,
and
sure.
everything.
You didn't know we had a large crowd here.
That took me less time
It looks
than
like it
I
doesn't look
did
like a
one
big
side
studio.
the first time
That's
I had
pretty
a
cool.
Rubik's
That's
Cube.
amazing.
But Steve, I don't want to leave you out of this. Let's take it to a new level.
Oh, boy.
You've never solved a Rubik's Cube?
Never.
We're going to change that today on your show, April Fool's Day 2024. Never forget this day. Never forget Joshy K doing magic on your show. This is a segment I call the Rubik's Power Transfer. Here's how it works. Hold up one finger like this. Point your finger to mine. On the count of three, we're going to touch fingers together, and I'll transfer my magic straight to you, so you can solve a Rubik's Cube. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Feel it.
You feel that?
Oh, sure.
That is the magic powers coursing through your veins. Now you can solve a Rubik's Cube. We're going to take a little bag here. Steve, do you see anything on the inside?
Nothing. It looks perfectly normal.
Anything on the outside, Steve?
Normal bag.
That's because it's not about the bag. It's about you and your newfound magic powers. We're going to take the cube, put it in the bag. You're going to grab the bag.
Okay.
And on the count of three, just give it a shake and say, it's done. This is all you. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
It's done.
Open that bag. Pull out that cube and show them what you did.
Oh,
Solved!
come on!
That's Steve, everyone!
It's going to go to his head now, Josh. Thank you.
Alakazam! Alakazoo! I used to love that little guy from the Flintstones, Shazam.
Kazoo.
Oh, thank you. you know, Steve would know that. I thought it was Shazam.
No, that's the superhero.
That's the superhero. That's
Captain
not.
Marvel.
That's Captain Marvel.
Whatever.
That's right.
That's fantastic. That's amazing. That
was
is pretty
fantastic.
cool.
That
So,
was cool.
I mean, it's so much more than just solving the Rubik's Cube. There's involving people. Do you like to involve the audience a lot?
I love it. My show is one of the most interactive shows. That's my big selling point. It's highly interactive. People ask me to do nursing homes. I'm like, nope, because they got to be able to stand up, hold things, hold a conversation, be part of it. It becomes very involved. I get people's phones involved. I get borrowed objects involved,
Right.
and I make them feel like the star.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah.
Did you feel like it?
I did. I felt like I did something, which I know I didn't, but I felt like I did. It's
gone to his
It was
head now.
fantastic.
It's
I
for
think
that
I'm gonna
moment.
get into magic. You really are. It's that suspense that you're waiting to see if it really happened. Now you do weddings, all these kind of kind of events?
Weddings, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs. I've been doing bachelorette parties.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's really
And
cool.
multiple ones, not just one.
So a wedding, how does that work at a wedding? I mean, is there a little like magic show segment? Do they like
No, it's actually strolling close-up magic, the illusionist, the cocktail hours.
Yeah,
stuff.
that's what I would
yes,
think.
yeah. So it's more
So
like
while
that.
everyone is mingling, they're having their drinks, they're standing up, they're socializing, maybe they're just finding their seats at the table. I go over, I introduce them. Hey, my name is Josh. I'm the magician hired
Right.
today. Could I show you a little magic?
Oh, that's
And we get right into it and we make a memory. We get everyone at the table involved. And then I say, I'm off to make some new friends right on over here. Enjoy the rest of your
That's
day.
fantastic. Now, have you made any weddings gone awry? Have you disrupted the bride and groom?
Never, no,
I'm
no.
going to break up this.
No.
Shazam! I don't want to marry this guy.
The closest thing, like I've been doing resort shows, like at Woodlock Pines. They've had me a few times in Pennsylvania. And sometimes I'll get a married couple up on stage, and I ask, like, how many years have you been married? And I ask the husband, and usually he's like, has like deer caught in headlights look, and I go back to the wife, and like, you should know this, honey. And like they get the answer, and like that gets everyone nervous. Like, okay, we're gonna celebrate that many years of marriage.
Exactly. Now, Tony, Tony does some murder mystery theater. Is that okay to mention that?
Of course.
I should always ask before.
Of course.
We always talk about it.
I know. We always talk about Tony's murder mystery. That's where me and Tony met, actually, because I
Yeah.
had done some theater and acting, and then I met Tony, and he does this kind of traveling murder mystery thing. Do you do like dinner theater? Or...
I actually went to see a murder mystery in Pennsylvania this weekend.
That was not us.
No. It was
Are you sure? Because we can telepath you to Pennsylvania.
no, it was at a mansion like Mount Hope, something like that. And it was a murder mystery. There's a red cast, there's a blue cast, and you get to go around from room to room, kind of like unearthing clues that's like in your little program. You write down the special word that you find in the room based on the clues they give you, and then each letter is like highlighted at like one letter per word, and then that forms a word, and then that's like a whole bunch of gibberish, and then you have to use a decoder, and then
this is
everyone
real.
like is the cast walking around, and they're telling you their story
That's
after
fun.
a debriefing, because it was like a whole spy group set in the 60s,
Right.
and that's what they're doing.
My mom would like that. She loves that detective-y kind of forensic type of, really trying to figure things out. That's right in your alley. That you must love that stuff.
Oh, I was leading my group. I went with a bunch of friends,
Oh,
and I'm
wow.
like, "Come on over here! I heard there's something about this room, and I already went to this room, and I found it's craps on the table." So that's the thing. Like, we already got you saw the poster, you wrote that down. That was the painting. Good. Now I spoke to him, the guy who showed us the Master of Disguise, and they said this is the room to find like the Golden Crown.
Oh, wow. That's really involved. That's really cool. Is that kind of how something similar to when you guys are doing?
No.
No.
Could I ask about your murder mystery?
No.
Of course you can.
No. Tony, if we gave you more money, could you expand
Tony.
on no?
Tony, please.
Our shows are nothing like that. It's more of it's a comedic thing. It's not a, I mean, there's clues and hints, but it's more of a comedic audience interactive
Right,
thing. Fundraisers and, it's all in one room and, it's a scripted show, but so it's a completely different animal.
Cool.
Those interactive shows are always so much fun.
We have a great time. Love it.
They really are.
I feel once the audience becomes part of the show, it becomes a bigger memory.
Oh, it's great. The first time I ever went to one of those, it was Tony and Tina's wedding.
Tony,
It
the
was
stand,
just
right.
fantastic. Oh my God, I never had so much fun in my life.
That's
And you just
exactly
don't-
how I
and-
describe our shows. It's Tony and Tina's with a
right,
wedding.
'cause it's very
Yeah.
Italian or
Yes.
something like that. I've seen your
Yes.
shows, yeah.
And I mean, it's you're in the bathroom and they're talking to you at the urinal, and the friend I went with, she came in and they said, the mother of the bride just asked me, you're wearing red, that's not the color that you didn't know that was the color of the bride's groom. She said, no. I said, that's good, because if you did, you'd be a whore. Just yell at it.
God, wow.
It's beautiful. It's so much fun.
We have to go. We should go to one.
We should. Why don't we do one of those?
Let's do one of those.
You
Well,
know?
why don't we go to Tony's?
Maybe Tony. Exactly.
Do you have a show coming up?
I think you should. We have 2 this weekend. We have one in Seaford on Friday. We have Riverhead Saturday. May 4th, we're in Plainview. We have some shows
that's enough, Tony.
at Governor's in
This
the
is
fall.
about Josh. You're done,
Thank you very
Tony.
much.
But you
Okay,
know-
no.
What's the name of it?
Yeah, where's the Seaford one?
We're called Knock 'em Dead Comedy. We're it's a church in Seaford, Our Redeemer Church or something like that.
Sounds like a
forget.
church name.
It's just south of Sunrise.
Just
In between Sunrise and Merrick, right?
Right.
between
Yeah.
Sunrise and
Not too far from the
Jerusalem
Burger
Avenue?
King.
Not Jerusalem Avenue.
Behind like Jackson Avenue.
Yeah.
Steve
one of
relates
those,
everything
yeah.
to fast food restaurants. Is that by the Burger King next door to the Wendy's? Yeah, I know where that is. That's
Well,
they have the good
I'm
egg
going with the
sandwich.
Star-
All I know is
Starbucks.
I went to a day camp and they didn't have a camp. You just go places. We go to the beach or whatever.
For what?
Summer camp.
Oh, I thought it was like a
It was
magic
summer
thing.
day camp.
Oh, no.
And so when it would rain, we would go to that Our Redeemer church, and then we'd go to. They take us to Burger King for lunch.
Sounds like a
You know, but enough
fantastic-
about us. You know,
Sounds-
Josh, we're halfway through the
yeah,
show.
look at the time. It's 1906.
Let's before you do anything else.
We're on-
What are you going to be doing?
Do you have
Yeah,
another one that you
yeah.
want to do? If you have something else, or is this a whole bag? Do you travel with?
You know what? I brought a few options for me just in
yeah.
case I didn't know what the vibe.
Yeah,
you
do whatever
did
you
so
want.
much research on me, which was great, which is
fantastic.
kind of fun, and I really appreciated
Oh,
that.
sure.
You know what? Let me pull out what's in my backpack. This is a poster for my off-Broadway show,
Oh,
Magic
that's
Mind
nice.
That's
Readings
great.
and Illusions.
April 14th.
That's right, April 14th
Steve,
in New York
I don't mess
City,
around.
2 p.m. That's Sunday. Only a 40-seat theater. We still have a few tickets
Yeah.
left. And it's going to be great. Almost every audience member gets to be part of the show. Don't worry if you're shy. Some of the people get to help from their seat, just like this one. On the other side of this poster is a whiteboard with a couple of boards of wood, a little eraser, and a couple of markers.
Oh, this is fun.
And
My
together
sister
we're
like
gonna
that.
go
She's a teacher.
on a
Pictures.
journey in the mind.
Drawing pictures.
If I wasn't going to be a magician or an actor, I was going to be a teacher.
You would be a great teacher.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and
it is,
I actually love board games, and I always like host game nights or go to game
Okay.
nights.
Sure.
And people say
What's your favorite board game?
it's a party game called Just One. And it won
that.
Game of the Year 2019. You're basically, honestly, this is perfect plug for it. You're writing on a bunch of whiteboards and you're kind of like guessing things as a cooperative,
Okay.
like clue-giving game.
Right.
So it's a fun mystery, not like a murder mystery,
Right.
but let's dive into it.
Do it.
We're gonna start with this, Steve, right
Do it,
here.
buddy. Sure.
Steve, imagine we're going on a dream vacation. We can travel anywhere in the world you want. You get to pick the place. Don't say it, just think it in your head. And guess what? You don't have to pay for it. This Steve's going to pay for it.
I'll take care of it.
You're the best, babe.
I got you.
It could be anywhere in the world. If it was me, Orlando, Florida, where Disney World is.
Right.
But if you want, go out of the country. Madrid, Spain. Heck, go to Antarctica, where penguins live. I don't know if planes go there, but it's a dream vacation. It could be anywhere. If you got a place in mind, don't say it, just think it. But if you've got it, say got it.
Got it.
Good. Steve, I'm going to try and read your mind.
Okay.
Here's how. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul, and I think I can access your thoughts the same way. Steve,
Yes,
lock eyes with me.
Josh.
Count of 3. We're going to blink our eyes. Same time. I'm going to sync my thoughts with yours. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, blink. Did you feel that?
I did.
In that moment, I saw inside your head, I saw the name of a place. I'm going to write down what I believe is the place you are thinking of as my first prediction right here. And as I cover this up and I switch from my red marker to my black marker, tell us nice and loud, what place were you thinking of?
San Diego.
San Diego! Have you been to San Diego before?
I have.
Ooh, so you want to go back.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, since Steve is paying for this, you get to decide. You're going to join us. You get to eat one of your favorite foods when we get to San Diego.
Ooh.
Think of a food. Don't say it. Just think it doesn't even have to be native to San Diego. It could be any food. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, scrambled eggs, chocolate mousse cake,
Oh
a
my
sandwich.
God.
Make it McDonald's for all I care. Make it Burger King like he likes. Make it chocolate mousse cake, bag of Doritos, Snickers, M&Ms, a banana.
God.
There is no wrong answer as long as it's a food you like. You could even plug Celsius again. But think of a food, something I couldn't guess. Think whatever comes to mind as your favorite food that you want on this vacation. If you got it,